Approach the tents or explore the glade. Let's go talk to the people first. A group of sad-looking tents huddle together on the edge of the wood. Figures sit around the campfire, bickering. You move through the damp of the wood. The ground beneath your feet is slick with fresh fallen rain. The figures round the campfire do not seem to have heard you, engrossed entirely in their argument. Oh, it's them again. Okay, well, let's do that. Give them supplies. The vituperative classicist compares your offering with the burnt toast and warm tea that they had been suppering on. Well, alright, I suppose. The woman is a vituperative classicist. Her companion's a dismal paleographer, a forlorn young man, and the feckless theologian. I do not know what these adjectives mean. Vituperative, dismal, feckless. They could be invented, actually. I'm not gonna research that. A handsome youth with an easy smile. They explain that they are here to enter the regent's grave. Right, there was that story of the king sleeping in the woods, where they believe a sleeping king lies buried. They do not agree as to the king's identity. Unfortunately, the college has cut off funding. Gee. The classicist explains. Speak to us if you'd be interested in helping. Okay, let's ask how we can help. The scholars intimated. I need to stop trying to guess what the words are before actually reading them. The scholars intimated that you might be able to help them continue their explorations in the wood. Your inquiry induces a rare spirit of cooperation in the scholars. The last expedition into the woods found a document written in the correspondence. It contained directions to a place called the Steward's Font, the theologian explains. Alas, that is all it needs to break their alliance. The paleographer begins to argue that the steward was a chief position in Charlemagne's household. The classicist makes a pointed reference to Inanna's husband. The theologian's smile is forced. If you could find the font, it would be an immense boon to my work. There are sputters of protestation. Our work. That is gonna be a pain, isn't it? Okay, let's speak to these fuckers. The divinity student has a dozen bad habits and a firm conviction that St. John the Apostle slumbers in the regent's grave. The theologian's tent is the largest of the three. Its interior has been decorated with carpets and throws, which trap the smoke from his hookah. Okay, I don't know what a hookah is, but it does remind me of another word. That does not fit the theologian, does it? The air is a scented fog. The theologian is reclining on cushions, drinking wine. So we could ask about the others or return to camp. Let's ask about his theory before anything else. Why does he think St. John is buried in a forgotten tomb in the high wilderness? The theologian's eyes widen. He is delighted to have been asked that question. According to the Legenda Aurea, St. John is sleeping somewhere, waiting for the coming of the Antichrist, which would mean the end of the world. And what is the high wilderness but that? That seems far-fetched. We left the world behind and the stars are going out. And just after we arrive, we discover a tomb, hidden in an ancient wood. He runs a hand through his hair. Sometimes we must have faith. Must we? Well, let's ask about the others. The dismal paleographer. The theologian smiles innocently. Innocently. I think the stress is on the eye here. Yes, we used to know each other very well indeed. This was back at college, before all his passion got sucked out of him. He sighs. Some people can't accept change. Okay. What about the classicists? She is very talented and very funny, and not at all nice, and she's furious with me. Why? He won't say. I think I've done enough damage. with both of them. He shakes his head. If it weren't for St. John and the academic senate sending me here, I doubt I'd have seen her again. Until she became principal, of course. Okay. Return to camp. The theologian is not offering you any of his wine. I'm not surprised. Okay, let's speak to the classicist. The student of the ancient world is armed with more scorn than a vengeful goddess, and the firm conviction that the Sumerian Queen of Heaven sleeps in the wretch's grave. The classicist's tent is practical and largely unornamented. The interior is damp from her various walking clothes, which have been scattered across the floor. Old playbills and gaudy costume jewelry hang from the tent ceiling like charms. The classicist is pacing the tent, reading Herodotus while smoking up a storm. Let's ask about her theory. Why does she believe the ancient Sumerian deity Inanna is buried in a forgotten tomb in the high wilderness? Isn't it obvious? She rolls her eyes. That's not a good start to any... I'm looking for the word. Does argumentation exist in English? That's not a good start for any reasoning. Fine. I'll tell you what I told the academic senate. The high wilderness is heaven, not as the church conceives it, but as the Sumerians did. A place of stars and chaos and impossible powers, in proximity to and affecting our own world, but far removed. She pauses for breath. Inanna, the queen of heaven, entered the underworld in search of her husband and was trapped for a time. That is the myth. This may be the truth. She waves her hand dismissively. Besides, we made some promising discoveries in the wood. Okay. What does she think about the theologian? Her invective goes on for an hour and she only remembers to fetch you tea midway through. A liar and a traitor and a fool, she says. That took an hour? Spooning in entirely too much sugar. I loathe him. Her hand shakes as she pours. Oh, jeez. He did say he had done damage. What does she think of the paleograph? She laughs scornfully but refuses to be drawn. I will not waste breath on the undeserving. Okay. Return to camp, you've bothered her long enough. And let's speak to the dismal paleographer. The fallen student of medieval manuscripts believes that the Emperor Charlemagne lies in the region's grave. The paleographer's tent is some distance from the rest of the camp, and almost in the forest. It is smaller and more warm than the tents of the others. Inside, however, the tent is both warm and sturdy. No rain leaks through the oilskin. The paleographer's inks and reference books and old theatre handbills are neatly sorted. The paleographer is at a little wooden desk, conjugating the subjunctive. What? Is he still in primary school? Okay, well, I guess everybody passes the time as they see fit. Why does he think the Holy Roman Emperor Charlemagne is buried in a forgotten tomb in the high wilderness? It's a little strange, I admit. You certainly won't find this in Ein Hut. But there are legends that say the great king did not leave his people on death, and instead sleeps in a barrow, waiting for their hour of need. He almost smiles. You query his people? I do not forget that we are British. He poses for effect. But is our queen not of German parentage? Would not her ancestor look out for her, Europe's greatest monarch, as she embarks on her most significant endeavor? Probably not after his death. Ask about the theologian. The paleographer is lost in thought. When he answers you, he looks rueful. The three of us were at college together in the same year. We were all interested in the theatre, but eventually pursued other things. I hadn't seen him in years until the Traitor's Wood funding came up in the Senate. He sniffs. His intellect is second-rate, but his charm is first-class. We can't all be brilliant, he sighs despondently. Okay. Did the theologian have an affair with both of them? Is this a love triangle? Okay, so what about the classicist? A remarkable scholar, and a terrifying goneril. I will research that one. Goneril does not exist. Who would have guessed? Okay. At college, when she trod the boards, he shakes his head. Ancient history now, which is her province, not mine. He makes a strong cup of tea for himself, and then offers you the same. Bitterness has curdled her. He sips his drink, then grimaces. Like this milk. Okay. Wait. I still don't know how to help them. Just go for an expedition in the wood, I guess? Right. Which we already said we weren't gonna do right now. We could, however, explore the glade. Oh. No, the glade is not the woods deep. Right, let's go for the glade. Birds trill in nearby trees, and the sweet scent of flowers pervades the air. Far, far away. There is no one else here at present, but there are signs of recent passage. A discarded set of cups from some clandestine picnic, loose paper hastily torn from a notebook, a few bullets in scorched grass. People come to the glade to conduct meetings, as neutral ground and as a place to think, secluded from the watchful gaze of the high wilderness. Okay. Let's buy some supplies. I'd like to check my journal. I don't remember, do we see prospects in there? We do not. Do we have a way to see our prospects? Doesn't look like it. Oh, actually, it's here. No. Info is X, okay. Okay, so they can buy up to 5. Here we have sold 1. Okay, it does say. And we need 3 munitions. Oh, prosper. Okay, we should get going, but I thought we could buy Chorister Nectar at, what was the name? Lustrum? Oh, you know what? The document I took there is the document of the game I played years ago. I messed up the directions. I'm gonna delete that. Right, because I put the folder there. Okay. Lustrum, I actually have no clue where it is. I just know they sell Chorister Nectar. And Carillon is north-northwest. And Hybris is north-northwest too. I think we could see that here. Northeast. Carillon is northeast. As for Fort Prosper, southeast. Okay. That's a lot of confusion. So actually I had no tabs on Lustrum, I guess. Am I actually sure that Hybris is north-northwest? Gee, I have no clue. Well, I guess we will explore anyway. We do have 3 fuel and 4 supplies. That's gonna be fine. So if it is north-northwest, we should be going that way. Let's go. And the well is supposed to be northwest. Perhaps in these parts. I don't know. So we are lacking fuel more than we are lacking supplies, which means we can use the scout a little more liberally. Successful expedition. There's something here. We could hit that on the way back. Although if it is something temporary, it could disappear. Yeah, let's go right away because I'm afraid it will disappear. There's good eating on the Pordona Eel. Scoop, which requires butchery. Okay, so some creature, some Pordona Eel, died there. And we could can it if we had the cannon. Okay. Let's send the scout again. It found something. I just hope that's not it. Really. Something to crave. Eel. Right. Is there a way here? Well, we did not find a way here actually. Perhaps we should have went there. We'll go for that, but then northwest. North. I guess it could be there. We do still have 2 fuel and soon 2 supplies. So that's okay. Wreck again.